Welcome to Bill the Drone Reviewer Podcast, episode 23, Rotor Talk Live. Very special guest, Josh from Parks and Tech. Got that coming right up. This past Tuesday night, I was very privileged to have a very special guest on with us, and his name is Josh Wesley Durick, and he's otherwise known on YouTube as Parks and Tech. And I want to thank my good friends Marcus Crawford and Ron Braun for pointing me in Josh's direction. Josh is new to YouTube, but he's certainly not new to drones. He's having a great time, and let's go ahead and play that episode in its entirety. Welcome. We're now Rotor Talk Live. We're not Tuesday night Rotor Talk Live anymore. We're now Rotor Talk Live, Season 2, Episode 34. Very special guest, Josh from Parks and Tech. We're going to get to him in a minute. My co-host is Mr. Marcus Crawford. Ron is out tonight. We're now Rotor Talk Live. And here we go again. I thought I took care of this before. I thought I mute this, and I don't know why this comes up like this. I don't understand that. So anyway, all right. Ron's not able to be with us tonight. He's having dinner with a friend. Absolutely, friends and family come before this. So we're just going to get right into things. I do want to say a couple of things. We're now Rotor Talk Live. We're not Tuesday night Rotor Talk Live. That way, if I do an episode on a weekend, that'll work out better. And I think it sounds a lot better. And just to not designate, everybody knows we're on Tuesday night anyway. So we'll go there. A couple of things that I wanted to get into first. I have a picture from Mike Roach, and everybody knows who Mike's is. Just absolutely, one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet here. Okay, and let's go ahead and share this here. Okay, look at this. And he took this panorama with his Mavic 2. And he said he did a little bit of photoshopping with it, but probably not a whole lot. It's incredible. It really is. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that is, Mike, wow. If you're on, that's flipping awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Everything about it is just awesome.
Mike, you just knocked it out of the park. And I want to let everybody know that if you want to have your picture featured on Rotor Talk Live, send me an email with your picture, and I will be more than happy to get that up there. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna kind of get back to things here. There's a couple other things that I want to get into, and then then Marcus has something he's gonna go over, and then we're just gonna get into things with Josh here, who I am just absolutely excited to have on the show tonight. Let me bring up. All right. Okay. The first thing that I wanted to share with you is there's this article from Sally French. You all know I had Sally on recently and absolutely love her. If you get a chance, go back and watch that episode. Sally is just one of the best people, drone-related people, news-related people you'd ever want to run into. She's absolutely fantastic. Now, the article's entitled, How should the recreational drone pilot test be administered? FAA wants you to weigh in. And this article here, and I'm going to drop a link to it in the description so you guys can go ahead and, well, actually, I'll drop a link to it in the chat right now. So let's go ahead and do that. They want to have your input on the test. Things like you want to have it online. You want it to be a reasonable cost. You want it to be, not have that many questions like the Part 107 exam, those type of things. So there's information in here on that. So I highly suggest that you guys check out this article. As you all know, the Part 107 costs $150, and that's like kind of on the steep side. So, well, that's it for that. Now, this other article that I want to talk about, it's real interesting here. Now, I'm sure you've already all heard Lucky Drone Pilot buys an $18 DJI Spark drones after mistake Walmart sale. Now, this is real interesting because Sally puts the actual invoice here from that person for $17.99. Other deals, $24.99 DJI Mavic Pro and a $42.99 DJI Inspire 2 Premium combo with a ZenMuse X5S. Okay, you can see right here. This is the ad with that, with all of that down here. It's just, yeah, it's just absolutely mind-boggling kind of a thing here. So I just wanted to go ahead and show that and share that. Now, Marcus, you had something said you would like to share your spreadsheet. Please.
Yeah. Hey, first, Bill, can I comment on that Walmart ad? So Brian actually brought this up last night. Brian Singleton, True Drone Reviews, and I thought it was really spot on. So, when you take advantage of something like that you know is a mistake, right? Clearly that ad was a mistake, and you think that's Walmart, this big nameless, faceless company. Well, it's not. It was that e-commerce electronics or whatever that simply sells their products through Walmart's website. Clearly they made a mistake. So, I know people take advantage of that kind of stuff, but boy, just think about it. That's probably some little mom and pop electronics shop that really, that probably cost them a lot of money. So just throwing that out there so that, everybody wants a bargain, but when you look at something like that, and it's for instance, if you'd have seen that Spark advertised for $200, let's say, you could go, okay, well, they're just marking them down to get rid of them. But when you see it for $18, you know that their cost was more than that, and it's a mistake. So anyway, just throwing it out there. I just personally, I would never want to hurt a little retailer like that. But anyway, so enough of that. I'll get off of my high horse there. So I do have, I did update my spreadsheet today. So let me see if I can get this up going here. So first off, are you guys seeing this on the screen?
Yes, we are. Look at this. Marcus, look at this. He's the Excel wizard here.
Well, there's nothing too crazy there, but a little bit of conditional formatting, Bill. That's about it. No fancy formulas, no pivot tables, anything like that.
I married the queen of pivot tables. My wife, she can make pivot tables sing. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good skill to have.
Sure is.
Good way to sift through data. Hey, but there's a couple changes. We just looked at this last night on ZinoNation, and I went through the website today, and believe it or not, there's more availability.
Oh,
so,
wow. Okay.
The Mavic 2 Pro right here, new with just the regular controller, was not available yesterday.
Now it's available.
It's available today.
Okay.
Yeah. And then let's see. The other one was the Mavic Air. It was one. Yeah, I think it was the regular Mavic Air was not available. I should have kept that other spreadsheet so I could compare them. But it is available now. And then also the Spark with no controller, just no controller and colored white, is available today as a refurb. It was not available as yesterday at all. You couldn't buy a Spark. So it's kind of interesting to watch the ebb and flow on their website. And but then you get down here and you see all these no's. I mean, you cannot buy any kind of Phantom directly from DJI. Right
Phantom 3. Wow.
Yeah, they're all just
wow.
Nothing is available.
Nothing.
Yeah. What's striking to me though is even when you get up here and look at the Mavic 2 Pro, if you'd have looked at this yesterday, the only way that you would have been able to buy a Mavic 2 Pro was to buy it with the smart controller.
Okay.
But then today they made it available again with the regular controller. So just kind of interesting. I mean, you look at this thing and it's pretty clear that DJI is keeping their drone inventory lean and mean,
Wow. Hey, Marcus, can you email that to me?
Yeah, sure can, Bill. We'll do.
Love that. That is just that folks. This is why Marcus is one of the best here, because he does this kind of analysis here. So absolutely,
Yeah,
fantastic, Marcus. That's an A+ in my book. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, thanks, Bill. So there again, let's make it clear to everybody: this is not any kind of speculation. These are facts.
Oh, Valerie's in the chat. She said Marcus has conditional formatting. Lovely.
Yeah. That's the only trick on this spreadsheet.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and welcome some people in the chat. Mike Roach is here. Mike, I hope you were able to see it. We absolutely thoroughly enjoy that picture. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Ari, Remote Pilots Australia is here. My lovely wife is here. Cat 777123. Jeremiah McIntosh. Lauren is here. FSU grad 03. How are you doing, my friend? Timothy Huxell. Let's see who else is here. Joseph Burgess. Beach Buck 1 is here. Okay. All right. I think we've kind of covered everybody. Now we finally get to our very special guest, because if you're on Rotor Talk Live, you are a very special guest. We have Josh himself from Parks and Tech, from my favorite city on the face of this planet, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay. Because I found out Josh was from Pittsburgh, and I'm just like, okay, wow, this is just like way beyond too cool. It's just like, we're going to have Brian Singleton on and Josh on and myself on and have Ron and Marcus on, and it's going to be Pittsburghese that whole night. Josh, how are you doing this evening, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm really happy to be here, and I really appreciate the invite, and it's an honor again for me just to be on any show, on anybody's show, and to be on Rotor Talk Live, man. Wow, this is awesome. And
you have, I was doing a deep dive through your channel. I was looking at stuff. Wow, I mean, for just coming out, and I think you just came out in May with your channel. You're booming, and you probably know I got it all over Bill the Drone Reviewers Facebook group, Facebook page, promoting it on Twitter as well too. And guys, please subscribe to Josh's channel. I can't say that enough. There will be a link in the description. I think there already is in the description. So please sign up. Josh has a tremendous channel. You need to check out one of the things you need to check out. He had a couple of videos with Brian Singleton, True Drone Reviews. You don't want to miss those videos. Okay. I can't say that enough. Seriously, Brian's another one of my favorite people, and he's also from Pittsburgh too, and just absolutely fantastic. So Josh, I just want to start this off. How did you get started in drones?
So believe it or not, well, okay, so it was last year in August. Last year in August, my fiance got me for my birthday. Now my birthday was in December, so it's a little bit of an early birthday present. But she got me a pass to go skydiving. I've always wanted to go skydiving, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I paid a little extra and had them film it, and they did a great video for me. So that got me into like action cameras. So I bought a ton of action cameras and just started, filming some things here and there. And of course, every single time when I started searching for action cameras or just cameras in general, drones came into the picture. And at first I didn't think too much of them. And I thought, okay, well, those are pretty cool, but why would I ever need something like that? Well, then I started doing more and more research. I found, Marcus's channel, and I found your channel, and I found, Ron's channel, and I found the QC guy. I found, Brian Singleton. I found all those channels, and I saw these reviews, and a lot of you had one thing in common, and that was a Zino. And that was a quad that I was looking at, because it was affordable, at least for me, even at the normal price of $369 or $379 or whatever it was. And just looking after review after review after review of that drone, I just really liked it. I loved the 4K video, at least from what I saw. And finally, I decided to pull the trigger at the beginning of this year, and got one. And it's been an obsession ever since.
Hey, can I add? We can tell by looking at your channel, Josh.
Oh yeah.
and it just keeps growing. You know, I know Brian from True Drone Reviews always makes fun of you, Marcus, and me as well for having long videos. But it's and I think I have the record right now. I think one of my videos was 50 some minutes or something like that. That thing took over 24 hours to render, but it's so much fun, you know, and I do it for the fun of it, and I appreciate everybody that even takes the time to watch. And I know that some of the videos are long and nobody really has time for all that, and I get it. You know, but one of these days, you know, maybe someone will, you know, and watch the whole thing. But anybody that watches anything that I put out and that I create, I'm honored. I really am. It's a nice feeling to have, you know, and to see all the likes, and you guys have given me so much support, and it's skyrocketed. I never thought I'd have 80 some subscribers. I never thought in a million years.
Just keep it up, Josh. I got a question for you because, you know, I'm dying. I've never flown in Pittsburgh. I mean, every time I've been up there, it's been for some kind of an event or this or that. And I haven't had a chance to bring a drone up to fly there. It's the same. Well, actually in Ohio, when my daughter got married, I took the Spark up there and I took some pictures of the rehearsal in the area before the wedding. It was an outdoor wedding, which was real nice. But in Pittsburgh, where are some great areas to fly in the city of Pittsburgh? Where have you had good luck flying in Pittsburgh?
So as sure you can tell from my channel, one of the places that I found that I really enjoy is there's an old abandoned golf course that's near my house. So it's a quick, you know, if I'm looking for a place to fly that's pretty quick, I can get there in, you know, a couple of minutes. A drive, of course, not walk, but the Allegheny Land Trust, I believe, is buying that land, and you know, I'm not sure. I'll have to figure out exactly what happened. They had a big meeting about that, and it was the fate of that property. So I don't know what's going to happen with that property or not. Whether they're going to sell it to development, or if the Allegheny Land Trust actually won, and hopefully it's going to keep it a place for people to enjoy and walk. And a ton of people walk their dogs. So that place is a fun place for me to fly. So I really hope that remains a place. And another place that is going to be really fun to fly. Now, I haven't flown here yet. I have a couple areas marked out on Google Maps, but right along the Allegheny River, right on Allegheny River Boulevard, there's a place where an old restaurant used to be. The place has been abandoned for a while. They tore down the building, actually caught on fire, but there's nothing there now, and it's right next to the river. And, it's just a big parking lot with nothing else there, right next to the river.
Wow. So,
and I think from there, if you go far enough, you might be able to get, like, if you take maybe the Mavic, you know, the Mavic 2, whether the Zoom or the Pro, you might be able to get some good shots of the stadium. What's another good place? So there's another guy I found on Instagram. His thing is, I think it's like above Pittsburgh or above Berg or something like that. He flies downtown all the time. And as long as there's no flight restrictions because of a game, you can fly downtown. Downtown Pittsburgh.
See, I would, my ideal takeoff point would be somewhere on Mount Washington. Okay. Because you get up there, you're already, you're already up above the city, and It doesn't take much. And you get out there and you could just get some incredible views of the city from there. I mean, really.
And that's another spot. There's a park up there, and I forget the name of the park, but you can fly up there. It is, they allow them inside the park, so you can take off and land from within that park. And I mean, you literally right there on top of Mount Washington. So that view has got to be insane. And I've been so busy. It's on my list to do by the end of by the end of this year, well, by the end of the summer rather, because I want to get some good shots. But fall's coming, and fall in Western Pennsylvania is gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to some shots there, and this will be my first fall with a drone. So
yeah, see, that's well, I tell everybody, and I know Brian did it. Brian filmed it in one of his videos. I think he has GoPro mounted on his dash, and he sped it up. But going through the Fort Pitt tunnels, okay, and I tell people this, okay, and Marcus, it's the most unique view in the world. You go through the tunnels, and you come out on the bridge, and the city's right in front of you. They say it's like the only view of something like that in the entire world. It's priceless. Watch one of Brian has that on his video, so go back and watch one of Brian's videos on that. It's just absolutely spectacular. Well, one of the areas I want to go to, Josh, is I went to Geneva College over in Beaver Falls.
Nice. Okay.
And absolutely, the Beaver Valley over there in the fall, that is just absolutely gorgeous over there. And I want to do this. I want to get my drone and go over there and fly over there. So there's just so many places in Pittsburgh. I just want to, and also where I grew up over in Munhall, Homestead, and West Homestead, just to get over there because it's just because, you know, U.S. Steel, they tore that down. It's now the waterfront area down there. It's just wonderful shops and everything. And well, it's so, I don't know. It's kind of bizarre for me in going back to Pittsburgh and I have to stay in a hotel, you know, it's just like, you know, I grew up here, you know, this is where I'm from, but yet, you know, it's just like, you know, it's kind of seems a little strange to me. I don't know. Anyway, let's kind of move on from this kind of nostalgia. All right, Josh, how many drones do you have and what are they?
All right. So I have the Zino. I also have a black Zino coming. So gotta have a backup. Well, I love that thing, man. I'm sorry. I love it.
Oh, it's a fun drone, man. It's one of my favorites.
The Mavic 2 Pro, the Spark, the Parrot Anafi, let's see what else. I do have oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it. I haven't flown it yet.
Beam Me X8, you said you had coming, right?
Well, right, yeah. So I still have that coming, and also the A3 as well. I couldn't pass up $203 for it. So, and the egg, the Power Vision Power Egg.
Wow!
I have it sitting right over there. I haven't opened it yet. I still got to do a video. I want to do a full unboxing. I haven't even broken the seal on it yet. But that was one of the drones that Brian showed me in person when I went to see him. And man, I was like, this, like, it just doesn't do it justice until you have it in your hands. But that thing is so heavy. It's like this thing really flies. But I kind of fell in love with that too. So I had to have that.
All right. Here's another question. This one's going to put you on the spot. Okay. If you're on a deserted island kind of a question, okay, and you only could pick one drone, which would you take and why?
Oh man, that's a tough one. You know, I'd probably take the golden egg.
Really?
That's an easy one for me.
Seriously, I'd probably take the Zino. You know, I think I would absolutely take the Zino.
Wow, that's incredible. That's really incredible. You know, I know it's like, and these guys tune me in. You know who John Coopy is, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because he put out a video on how to do the firmware update on that. And I'm telling you what, I think both Marcus and Ron were talking about that. I watched his video and he just nailed it. John just absolutely nailed that video in doing that. And it's just like, you know, when my cash flow gets a little bit more improved. See, I work for public supermarkets. Okay. And we get 13 paychecks a year. We get a bonus paycheck. And it's in November. The original owner of Publix wanted all the employees to have extra money at Christmas time. So, you know, both for salaried and hourly employees. So we get an extra paycheck in November. So, I'm kind of like, you know, what am I going to do kind of a thing. One of them is I'm getting a laptop to complement my desktop because I really need one. And the other one is, you know, it's going to be another drone. And I'm really kind of seriously leaning towards getting a Zino.
Bill, you know, we've all got a Zino now. You've got.
Oh, I know. The pressure's on.
Well, we all, you know, and what's going on now? What that I find fascinating is like Brian will have two now. He bought a black one, and now Josh is telling us that he's buying another one.
Yep. It's on its way. It's shipped.
That's great.
This is fantastic. Just want to welcome some more people in the chat. Roger from Canadian Drone Hub is here. Rick Halber is here. Mr. Ken Dono, Original Dobo, is here. You Do It is in the house tonight. And Brian Singleton's here tonight. So thank you guys all for showing up tonight. Really appreciate it. Josh, you know, in looking at your videos, You really, I mean, and by the way, I guess somebody had posted in chat, by the way, you're up to 87 subscribers now.
Oh,
I think
wow.
you got some more tonight. So
Thank
so
you
you got
guys so
you got a
much.
little bit of a bump here.
Oh, man.
And Ken Dono asked me, good move on the laptop. Well, what's Val going to get? Yeah, yeah, it would probably involve going to a place called Jared's, Ken. So
There you go.
oh, you guys got to watch my it's my outtakes video. Okay, when we're testing Zoom meeting, and this is funny. Okay, now Ken used to, and I don't know if sometimes he still does. He does one of these things to close his videos out. Okay. So Val goes, I'm going to do an original Dobo here. And she does this when we were testing Zoom meeting. And Ken loved that. Absolutely. And she came with us when we had our flight out. She came with us that day, and she absolutely loved hanging with us. And it was absolutely great having her. Absolutely fantastic. So, okay. All right. Back to this. Josh, I got to ask you a question about the Zino. Okay. Now, I know from what Marcus and Ron have told me, the firmware update process is nothing like it is with a DJI drone. What do you think about that? I mean, I know you're getting a second one, so I'd really like to hear your thoughts on that.
So because it was my first one, I didn't know anything else. That was the first one that I ever had to update. So I didn't know anything else. So I just figured, okay, this is the way this one is, and this is the way they all might be. So I just watched a ton of videos. I have it multiple times. Sometimes I updated it while watching, someone else's video as well. And I did it. I went through the process, and now it's like second nature to me. Now, obviously, the pins that you have to at the beginning had to squeeze together. That was stupid, for the transmitter. But other than that, I don't find it that bad. Once you've done it quite a few times, is it a pain in the butt? Yeah, oh, absolutely. And if you're used to the DJI products and how easy that is, or even the Anafi, how easy that is, then yeah, it's going to be a rude awakening, so to speak. But because it was my first, and because that was the only thing I knew, it wasn't terrible.
Josh. So what I always tell people is, if you haven't done it before, it can appear to be daunting. But once you do it one time, it's not. Yeah, it's not bad. And yeah, is it as easy as a DJI product? No, I mean there's more steps, etc. But it's not like it's rocket science.
Right. Absolutely. It's multiple steps. It would have been so much easier if they could have done it somehow, either through the app or just, connecting it through just one single program and have it kind of update everything. But, unfortunately they didn't do that. So it is what it is. But I agree with you, Marcus, 100% that, once you've done it once or twice, you're kind of, you get the idea, and it's not too bad.
Well, it's real funny. I just got Dale Wilson in the chat says, "Hey, Bill, just sell me your Phantom 4 Pro V 2.0. It's like, okay, well, Dale, I do have to tell you something. It's like, you heard the saying, you have to pry my cold dead hands off of it. That would kind of be like that with my Phantom 4 Pro V 2.0, just to let you guys know that. So, one of the great things, what else I like about your channel, Josh, is, it's just not all drones. I want to get your thoughts on the Osmo Action, and I'll tell you what I think about it. But what's your thoughts about the Osmo Action?
So I love it personally. That was my first actual real, what I call a real action camera. Up until that point, I told you before I got into drones, I got into action cameras and cameras in general. Well, I bought the knockoff ones, the SJ cams, the Theis, the Chinese brands, that they pump out like crazy and rebrand multiple times. I always thought that the GoPros were just too expensive for me and out of the way, and I don't know. But so once I got my hands on that, I was like, holy mackerel, this is unbelievable. And you really do get what you pay for. Because the difference between that and up until then, my best one that I had was the SJ Cam SJ8 Pro. And that was $230, I think, is what I paid for that. And the image stabilization is great on it, but it's not as as good as the Osmo Action by any means. It's excellent.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got this, and I'll tell you what, Josh, I can't say enough about this. We took this up, and I've started on I have another channel. You've probably seen that, called Build a Drone Reviewer Limited Edition. And there's going to be things, there's going to be podcasts on it. By the way, every one of these episodes from now on through the rest of the year, what I'm going to do is they'll be on Podbean, which will mean they'll not only be on iTunes and Google Play Store and Spotify, but it will automatically be uploaded to YouTube to Build a Drone Reviewer Limited Edition, so you can catch podcasts on there as well. And one of the other things that I'm doing is vlogs, and I'm using this. And I can't, Josh, I am having the time of my life with this. Oh my gosh. It's just like, it was just, I used this when we went up. My daughter recently, had our first grandchild, okay, early July. So we went up to Ohio. We just had a blast with this, okay? And there's just some funny moments, with a lot of funny moments with my wife, candid moments, and she's like absolutely fine with that. And I can't tell you, I am having so much fun with this. And I mean, the only thing that I have to say right now, my only thing is, I wish DJI would do something with the sound option on here, because I took this, when I did my test on this, I went to Sam's Club on a Saturday, okay, and it was, and what I did was I set the image stabilization on, and I drove over those rough spots in the lot that are there on purpose. I drove on that, and it was like rock steady. I went in there and talking. Now, just having this up like this, you could hear me, and it was on a Saturday. It's like crazy inside of Sam's on a Saturday, okay? And I absolutely loved it. But Valerie was right next to me, and you could hardly hear her, okay? So, my thing is, I'm really want to see DJI come out with something with having like an external microphone option on this, because it's not there yet.
Absolutely, and I agree. The audio is very good, but you're absolutely right. I mean, it would be great to have some sort of external audio on there, and I don't know why they didn't just release it from the start. And I know there's some speculation about that. And of course, one of the first things I did when I got mine was I tried the Osmo Pocket audio adapter with it, just to see by any chance if that could work. And of course, it didn't work, but it was worth a shot. But I agree with you completely. One
of the things that I got was the multi-battery charger for this. Okay. Now it's really funny because it'll charge. It's bizarre. It will charge two of the three batteries at once, which is real interesting. Okay. And it gives this detailed, it's this real small book that comes with it. And it gives this real detailed explanation about the lights and the charging sequences and everything about these, and charging $19 batteries. Okay. I was just like, just get them charged up. But one thing that I found though with it is it will, and I corroborate, who Rick Smith from Drone Valley is, don't you? I do. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And I've had Rick on the show, and Rick's a fantastic guy. I absolutely love him. And I agree. I get, if I'm running 4K 30 on that, I get about 50 minutes, not quite an hour on one battery before I have to end up changing batteries on. I end up running out of battery before I run out of space on my SD card on them. That's what almost always happens.
Yeah. So the other thing that I thought was that Rick brought up that I thought was important, and he said that's going to be the next big step in action cameras, is a decent microphone. And we've all seen those pictures that have been popping up here and there with the Hero 8, or supposedly the Hero 8, that has the little mic on the top. So, that could be a game changer. I have to tell you, that's something that would get me to buy one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a lot, to get an external microphone up there, it makes a world of difference. Like when Original Dobo Ken Dono and I, when we were out and he was doing his vlog of us that day, I mean, he has a real nice external microphone on top of his Sony, okay? And it picks up audio crystal clear, all right? And, it makes a difference. I mean, when, and I don't know if you had a chance to see this video, Josh, Ron came down to the Tampa area, I'm going to say about 2 months. There you go. Yeah. Ron came down to the Tampa area about 2 months ago, and he had his GoPro there. And, he didn't, I mean, it was just native audio. He didn't have anything on. And it was good as long as you were around the camera. But, you started to get away and you just don't really hear anything. So, that's why, I agree 100% with Rick and Marcus and everybody and yourself. We need to see some options for that. And somebody that comes out with something like that, it's going to be a game changer. I don't know if GoPro is going to do that, but somebody needs to do that, because I'll tell you what, having these things, this is a godsend. It is so easy to use. It's one of the things that I like about this is the menu system on here is just incredibly easy to use. Oh, I don't know if you saw this video, but it's gaining traction every day. Okay. Well, the side door on the on here, Josh, that okay. Now, when I first got it, it came off, and I'm just like, I couldn't, like, son of a gun, I can't figure out how to get this thing back on. Okay, what's going on? So I look up Osmo door, nothing on that. Well, there was a GoPro Hero video. It was on a 5 or a 6, okay? And what you have to do is push in on the insulation, okay, the waterproof insulation, and it slides up, and then you can put it in. It does the same thing here on this too. So I put out a little video about it. I've got 2,800 views, 152 comments on there. Everybody's liking the daylights out of it and saying, from around the world, people are like, wow, I'm glad you put this out. That's one of these videos that's going to go, I'm going to get 50, 60, 70,000 views on it one day, kind of a thing. So,
I love that, and I mean, we're going to run into things, and you know what, there's going to be probably hundreds, if not thousands of other people that are going to run into that same problem at some point. And, it's going to be your video that saves it, because you have the only video and it's going to save them. And, I just think that's awesome. I can't tell you how many times I found, I never thought in a million years I'd find certain videos, to help me with different things. And sure enough, there was always one or two that may not have had, too many views, but you know what? It saved my butt, and it saved me a lot of time from doing more and more research. So, and, I make the same mistakes, and I want to show people that too. I don't want to show everybody just all the good. I want to show somebody, what it's like. Hey, look, this is what you get. And this is what you could face. I made this mistake, learn from me.
Absolutely. One of the things that I wanted to touch on a little bit here, we're coming up. Friday is the 1-year anniversary of DJI releasing the Mavic 2. Now, if you want to look at it, it was also the last drone that DJI's released, because this entire year it's been everything but a drone. I mean, even the FPV system, it was not a drone. It was accessories, if you want to call it that. So, but we talked about this. You probably saw I had Hey Kesterlew on last week. And Hay's fantastic. Absolutely love him. He's a great guy, very knowledgeable, reputable journalist. Absolutely love him. And, as part of Drone DJ, which is part of the 9 to 5 media group. They just do absolutely great stuff. What do you think? And I know, and I want to hear Marcus's thoughts on this as well. I mean, we've talked about them coming out with this potentially sub 250 gram drone, before the end of the year. What are your thoughts on DJI coming out with something like that, Josh?
So, if they came out with something new, I would absolutely love that. I think that they are probably, it's about time that they do something. Granted, I mean, the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom, they're great. But I think that for that Spark 2 or mini Mavic that, may or may not be real, or whatever the case might be there, that thing looked kind of neat. If it were to be real, it's just a smaller version, and it's something you could take around with you. It did have the folding arms, which I thought was pretty cool, if it was real. But for them to release something, in time for Christmas, I think that would be huge. Something at an affordable price point, of course, something for $500, $600, something like that. And I mean, 600 is a lot of money. 500 is a lot of money. But I think that's pretty affordable for DJI, at least in my opinion.
Marcus, what about your thoughts?
Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit yesterday on ZinoNation, and those pictures that we saw of that Mavic Mini, there's a lot of things on them that look like a DJI product. There are some other things that don't. So who can say for certain whether that's the real deal or not? But I just think that it's in DJI's best interest to put out another drone before the holiday season. And the other piece of that puzzle, well, a couple other pieces of that puzzle, is what we just showed on that spreadsheet. They're selling down their drone inventory, A, and then B, there's all these other drones like the Hubsan Zino, like the Fimi X8, and even if you could even think of the parent Anafi as a refurb, an under $500 drone. It's a market that DJI doesn't really live in right now, and they're not going to leave a hole where they think they can sell some drones, and they're not going to let somebody else take market share from them. So I suspect that, and this is just purely conjecture on my part, I don't know anything. This is just thinking about all these clues. I would be willing to bet that sometime this fall, we'll see a drone that addresses those issues, and we'll see it before the holiday season so that they'll have something to sell through the holidays.
I agree, Marcus. They need, you're 100% right when, DJI needs to have something to come out before the holidays, and I will say this, and I think, Josh, you probably agree on this too, whether you like it or not, whether DJI likes it or not, Hubsan's made some inroads with the Zino. Okay. Its price point is incredible. It's just an incredible price point. And, I've watched almost all of Marcus's and Ron's videos on it. I've watched yours. The quality of the video that comes off that is to be rivaled. To say, I would look at it like the original Mavic Pro. Okay. It's that good. It's the kind of drone that I would take up and say, you know what, I would be proud to show that on YouTube because that's quality footage. Okay. That's not, I'm not using a JJRC golden egg with a camera kind of a thing here. The Hubsan Zino does a fantastic job for the price point, for everything that you get. I mean, they really hit a home run on this. I mean, because more and more people are getting it. And you see, when you go out there and do a search on Hubsan Zino, you're on YouTube, you're getting a lot of hits now because there are a lot of people that it's woken a lot of people up, and Marcus showed on our list. Okay. The Spark is pretty much dead. The Mavic Air is still there, but I mean, it has a higher price point, $699 to $899, depending upon what package you get. There's nothing Phantom 4 wise. Mavic 2, both Pro and Zoom, sort of there and not there and all this, they need something to say hello to the market. DJI is here. We're still the king. We're still number one. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, Marcus brought up a good point, about them. They really need to come out with something. What do you think about that, Josh?
So I agree 100%. They definitely have to come out with something. I don't know if it's going to be, a drone or what it's going to be, but I mean, I think they definitely need to come out with something. It seems like they've been going every other direction, technology wise, which is still cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it's awesome that they came out with the camera and the Robomaster, which mine still hasn't shipped yet, but I think it's really cool. That they decided to explore other avenues and to try to get their foot in the door with some of these things. But I think they should release something, for the holidays, and I think it would be beneficial to them, and it would be, very beneficial to us. Now, of course, I wouldn't want them to rush something, but hopefully, I'm sure they have all kinds of things in the works. They would have to.
Hey, so let me add one more thought, Bill. So
yes, go for it.
When we're talking about that price point, and one of the things that I discovered with the Spark, I've said this before, I came to the Spark late in the game. And honestly, I wouldn't have bought one unless I'd seen that deal that I ended up paying, I don't know, $210 or something like that for the Spark brand new. Believe it or not, from Banggood, and it was at their U.S. warehouse. I had it in a week. And then I got a controller for it from DJI. So I was into it. I'm into it all, I think, for like $200 or $335. And that, what I discovered with that thing, I thought, well, gosh, I've already got a Mavic 2. What do I need this little guy for? Well, I found out once I had it, when you travel, that thing is so convenient And by the way, let me say, when you're traveling by air, because you can just put that in a backpack, take it with you on your carry-on, and it is really easy to deploy, and it is really easy to retrieve. It's just a convenient, quick drone to throw up in the air, get some pictures, and bring back. So if obviously DJI is out of that business now. They don't have any Sparks available to sell, which leads me to believe that they've got something else coming out, because they are not going to abandon that market. And I guarantee you, whatever they come out with, they'll probably blow our minds. Anyway,
that's
enough said.
No. That's absolutely fantastic. So, one of the other things that I kind of wanted to talk about here, with all this going on, and all the other drones, I want to maybe kind of talk about the Parrot Anafi, because I know this is kind of near to Marcus and to Ron's heart as well. And you have one. Now, I don't have one, but I spend, and I am so thankful for Rick Smith. Josh, you ever get a chance to meet him or hang with him or fly with him, please do, because he's another one of those people that, like you say about our good friend Brian Singleton, what you see on video is what you see in person. He's the real deal. It's the same with Rick Smith. Rick is just one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet on the face of this planet. He is just absolutely great. But one of the things, I had an opportunity to fly the Anafi, okay? And one of the things that really impressed me, and I know both Ron and Marcus have heard this a lot, is how the inertia on it, the way it was engineered, when you stop the drone stops, okay? When you tell it to yaw, it yaws. When you tell it to pull back on the stick, it pulls back on the stick. I mean, it's like these responses are just like that, and it's just like instantaneous. So, what are your, I know you have one. What are your thoughts on the Anafi?
So I love the Anafi. I really do. I think it's really fun to fly. It's extremely light, and when I first felt that, I almost felt like it was brittle. Because how it can bend and move, and it just felt fragile to me. So I was a little afraid of it at first, but I mean, I know everything is made, at least that one is made like that for a reason. And it shows in one of my videos. Thank goodness, nothing broke on it. And after that Anafi got stuck in a tree, again by my own stupidity, I've fallen in love with it even more. It's so much fun, to fly. It's so stable. Again, that took a wayward turn because of me. But the drone itself is just so stable. It's so much fun to fly. As they call them, and at least I've heard them being called air brakes. That thing's air brakes are spot on. It really doesn't drift whenever you let go of that throttle, man. It stops, it kicks on the brakes. And you can get so close to things. And in fact, I have another video I haven't uploaded yet where I get super close to all kinds of trees and underneath branches in my backyard here. And it did beautifully. You can get so close to things. It's so precise. And for that, I really enjoy it.
One of the things that we talked about, and with Ron and Marcus, when the Anafi came out, okay, it probably came out at the worst time possible, all right, when it originally was introduced, because it came out about a month, a little over 6 weeks before the Mavic 2. The Anafi came out, and it was real interesting because I know Billy Kyle's a good friend of mine, and I talk to him on a regular basis. He's another one of these people that when you meet, the guy that you see on the video is the same guy that you see in person. He is fantastic. And for a 22-year-old, and I told him, I said, there's only one thing I'm jealous about. And he said, what's that? Your age. Okay. But Billy said he went to, Anafi had an event, and he said it was like 180 degrees from a DJI event. Okay. He went there. He said it was like in this crowded room on this floor in this building in New York City, and people were trying to fly the Anafi inside there. There wasn't enough space, and now DJI will people like Ready Set Drone, Aldrin from Flight Path, maybe Rick sometimes. DJI will contact them, have them sign a waiver, a non-disclosure agreement, and, get them ahead of time. So, when the videos, when they launch it, like they did with the Mavic 2 Pro, Kelly Shores was at the event, but I saw him on his phone and he was releasing his video, his first flight video, because they had sent it to him ahead of time. That's what DJI does. Well, he was expecting Anafi, since they invited him to this event, to give him one to test, and they told him, yeah, we're going to give you one. And Billy heard crickets after that. He didn't hear a thing. And
hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Well, so I have just a comment to make here. So if we think about this, Ryan at True Drone Reviews has an Anafi, and we just talked about Billy Kyle has an Anafi. Our friend Ron Brown has an Anafi. Our friend Josh Parks and Tech, he's got an Anafi. I've got an Anafi. What's going on, Bill? Bill, what's going on?
It's an Anafi and a Zino.
I need to hit that buy button, okay? And I might do that in November when I get my bonus, okay? That might just come there, okay? That might just come there. One of the things that getting back to the Anafi, I had Gail Orenstein on, Josh, and several months ago. If you ever get a chance, watch the actual interview that I did with her. Now, Gail is a drone journalist, and she's been in like 50 different countries. She's gone into areas that war is active and going. And one of her favorite drones to use, believe it or not, is the Anafi, because she's able to go under underpasses with it. She doesn't have to worry about, like if she brings a Phantom with her, a lot of times they have her check it in at the airport, and they won't give it back to her until she leaves the country, because it's an identifiable drone, and a lot of terrorists use Phantom 4s. Okay, it's just cut and dry. But the Anafi, it's not a problem. And she says it's wonderful because a lot of times she can see where she's going. Like if she has to fly under bridges sometimes and avoid, where known areas are where it could possibly get shot down. It's just a real interesting interview. If you get a chance to watch it, she is just absolutely fantastic. She was one of my favorite people that I've ever talked to, having her on the show. But Marcus is right. I kind of need to hit that buy button, because I kind of got bit when I flew it with Rick. It was just the way it handled was just exceptional. And I heard a lot of people will say, oh, it doesn't have obstacle avoidance. And here's my thing. Okay, if you've been flying a drone for any length of time, all right, you can shut off obstacle avoidance. You don't really need it unless you're going to be, say, you're flying in a canyon or a very wooded area, and you're going to have a lot of obstacles there, and you may want some of that help. I would say if you're in a wide open space, you don't need it. And if you really watch what you're doing, you don't need it. You can be pretty good about something like that. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that with the Anafi?
So, in terms of, just being able to be so precise with it, like you had mentioned, again, you don't need obstacle avoidance with it. And I'm nowhere close to professional drone flyer by any means. And I'm sure, some people that might watch my videos might be, and they're probably like, oh, why did he do that? Or, man, he could have made that turn a little more smooth or something. But even with that, other than that incident, again, that was completely my fault. I just love that thing. I've crashed it once. Although
I don't know if I'd call it a crash. It made for a great video, but no, let's make the point. The drone wasn't hurt. No. It was fine. So
it was perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with it. And you saw, literally right after that crash, I redid the calibrations, or after it fell, excuse me. And I almost had a heart attack because it could have fallen in that creek. But
yeah,
I immediately, did my calibrations and took it back up. No, I didn't take it for some crazy, flight after that, but I took it right back up. So as you saw that in that video, that wasn't, okay, well, let's take a break. Let's do this. No, that was immediate. I obviously cut that video at that point, but it took right back off. No problems. The props weren't damaged. Nothing was loose. The gimbal actually even got kind of caught, the camera and gimbal kind of got caught around a weed. You can see in the video, I actually had to bend down to break that. And that was perfectly fine. That thing's strong. No physical damage, no cosmetic damage, nothing that I could tell. You know, I mean, I like that thing a lot. It's really cool, and it's very quiet too, extremely quiet.
So that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. It's quiet, but the other thing that is important to note about that drone is that you never have props in the frame ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a fantastic point.
The quality is incredible of the camera. I enjoy the quality of that camera a lot as well. You know, I mean, I think we talk about a lot of other things about it, but I mean, let's be honest, at least for me and from what I see, that the quality of that video is incredible.
It really is. You know, one of the other and I know Brian's really big on this, is the Autel Evo, and I know you don't have one. What are your thoughts on an Evo? I mean, you know, I know Ken Dono has two of them. He really loves it, especially for doing real estate shoots. What are your thoughts about it?
So that was the time that I met up with Brian. That was actually one of the drones that he had and that he wanted me to see in person as well. And you know, he loves that thing. I did get to see it and hold it in person. It was really cool, you know, to actually see, you know, some of these things I only get to see in videos or, you know, in pictures and things. But that thing's really cool. Now I don't think I can I can probably get one of those, or I'm probably gonna like end up you know, dead somewhere or something. But in a doghouse, something. That one's a little expensive. Especially after the Mavic 2 Pro, but but anyhow, I think it's great, and you know, Brian just released that one video, I think it was this morning, you know, of just his flight over that park, and man, that quality is incredible.
Yeah, one of the things that I really like about the Evo, the color palette on there that comes through naturally. I mean, you know, I know Original Dobo, he does if you're not subscribed to him, do subscribe. He has he has, to me, he puts some of the best cinematic videos ever together. Okay. When he's doing cinematic stuff, it's absolutely spot on. But I mean, you know, he's the one that got me all really interested in the Evo. Well, I had Autel's first drone. I had an X-Star Premium. Okay. They called it the Orange Pumpkin. Okay. It looked like an orange Phantom. Okay. And the good thing, the thing that Autel does right, and I've talked to Marcus and Ron about this, and they know their hardware is spot on. Okay. They have incredible hardware. I have absolutely every confidence in the world in their physical product. Now, with the X-Star Premium, software updates were not measured in days or weeks. They were measured in months. Okay.
Wow.
And the very last one that they issued for the X-Star Premium was a beta. It was never fully approved for public use. Okay. And that was just the Achilles heel of that drone, was their software development. Well, I think they really did a lot of homework before they put the Evo out. And I think that's one of the things that they've been much more responsive on, is taking care of this, because before they just did not, you know, with the X-Star Premium, it was just like, you know, they'd sit back and drink their coffee and you'd have to wait for an update. But with the Evo, I think they've been pretty responsive on it. So, and the other thing about the Evo, I don't know about you, you know, when I held it, you know, I actually flew Rick's. That thing, it was heavy. I mean, it was very, very heavy. I'm just like, good grief, this thing is just ginormous in terms of weight. Want to kind of switch gears just for a few minutes here. You know, there's been a lot of talk lately about underwater drones, okay, like a Gladius Mini, the Fish, I think is what it's called. And I know Ken Dono has one, and he was going to take one out, but where we went, the water was too shallow and he couldn't use it. But, you know, what are your thoughts about some of these submersible drones?
I mean, for me, I think it's pretty cool. You know, I personally wouldn't really want to probably get into that. But then, you know, I say that now, but then who knows, maybe in a couple months or whatever, I might have one. I don't know. But I mean, I think the concept's really cool. You know, to be able to put one of those under the water. And I mean, I know that there's a lot of, what is it? Like, I don't really want to call them treasure hunters, but researchers. I'll call them researchers. You know, that have these huge things that, you know, they can send under the water and get these cool shots and use them to look around and try to find different things in the bottom of the like ocean floors, and I'm sure lakes, things like that. And I think that's really cool. And to think that you could buy something like that that you could send underwater and just, check out life and see if there's anything cool in the bottom of the lake. I mean, I think that's pretty neat. But again, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no. But for me, I just think that, that at least right now, I don't have a need for that. But who's not to say that couldn't be something in the future?
You see, one of the things down here in Florida, I mean, it's like every other house has a pool in the backyard. Okay. And one of the things that they're touting these for is some of the better models is for pool inspection. Okay. To be able to throw it in to, cause it comes back in 4K. Some of them have 4K. So you can take a look on the bottom of your pool. Another one they're touting this for is especially we have the Port of Tampa is a big port down there. I mean, they can go underneath, they can take a look at ships, they can find things, small, marinas, they can have them there as well for inspecting ships while they're still in the water. They don't have to necessarily pull them out of the water. They can inspect docks, that type of thing. I mean, it has incredible unlimited uses. And I think that kind of market's only going to grow. I know Rick Smith brought one, and he held one, and I don't know, it was like, I think it was a prototype. This thing, it looked like, and if you remember it at all, I know Marcus will know when I say this, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the Flying Sub. I don't know if you.
Sub, yeah.
Yes. I know Marcus knows that, okay? And it looked exactly like the Flying Sub, only in green, okay? That's just, but it was heavy. It was very heavy. And a lot of these, I mean, require like 500 to 1,000 feet of cable when you're going down. And see, that's the thing. I think, is where you could get into trouble is with this cable, it might get tangled up on stuff. I mean, I personally don't know enough about it to be able to answer it. I know Ken's been doing some filming with his, so I'm interested to see what some of his reactions are with that. And I know Curtis Dart has one too, and he's been out there, and Tommy Polo as well. So I'm anxious to talk with them and to maybe probably want to get them on the show sometime and talk with them sometime about this. So, so your better half, does she support you doing drones?
She sure does. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's been extremely supportive, throughout everything. And, and it's just, and I say everything, and and it's the word I'm looking for. So I say everything, but I mean, through everything in the short amount of time, it wasn't, I haven't done a lot by any means, except really buy a lot of stuff. And she's been really supportive through that. And she knows that it's something that I really enjoy doing, and it's something that makes me happy. I work a 7 to 4 job Monday through Friday. It's a stressful job for me. It's not something obviously that I love doing, but it's something that works, and it's something that I'm pretty good at. But when I come home, this is something that relaxes me. This is something that, I can enjoy, that takes my mind off of that. And it puts me in a nice place. And she's always been very supportive of that. So
now, does she come out with you when you fly?
She does. Yeah, she does. Awesome. Not all the time, because she's either working or doing something else, but for the most part, she does. She comes out with me, and, she'll either walk around the park, or she'll, be off getting a tan somewhere. But, for the most part, she's always there.
Now here's a real test of trust here. Have you ever given her the sticks and let her fly?
Not yet, but I've offered. She just never wanted to. She never did, and I would be more than happy to. I mean, heck, I gave my nephew the sticks for the Spark this past weekend. To fly that around a little bit. He loves it. But I'm going to get her into it too, I think.
Well, I got to say this, my wife, okay, and this was pretty funny. We met 400 AGL Mel last year. He came over and he said, "Here, hold this." He had his Spark up in the air, and she was actually holding the controller. So, and he goes to her, he says, "You're flying the Spark right now." And she's just like, "Here, take it back. I don't want to do it." But no, I'll tell you what, Valerie's been very supportive of me. And in fact, in a lot of my videos, she's the one that's doing a lot of the videography outside. If I don't have it sitting on my tripod when I'm filming, you know, she's the one that's doing that, and she's gotten some amazing shots. I mean, just absolutely amazing shots. For example, you know, I don't know if you've seen, I have, it was the first video I ever did on the Mavic 2 Pro. And I was the one that ended up finding out there was no precision landing with it. Okay. Because it was coming down, and I decided it had rained like cats and dogs, and it finally stopped long enough. I said, you know what? I want to get this up. I just got it. I mean, it was that day. I said, I need to get this up in the air. I need to get a video out. So I decided to do it just in the front yard, you know, and just, you know, go up and just make real quick flight and come back and everything. Well, you know, I'm expecting it to come down, and it's ended up, she goes to me, she says, it's going to come on the garage roof. And I was like, oh man. So then I did it wrong. And you know, and then I was just like, you know, when I ended up landing it, and off camera, I was like, oh crap, you know, I can't use this. This isn't any good. And then I saw in a forum somewhere, somebody said they don't have precision landing. And I'm just like, holy cow, this was a problem. This is my number one video of all time. I think I have like 56,000 views on it. Okay.
Wow.
But the king for me, as far as views here tonight, Mr. Marcus Crawford, and you'll never guess, it was not a drone. It was his Honda lawnmower.
I'd have to go back and look. That thing is over 250,000 views.
That's crazy.
Wow.
It was just, Marcus did a great job. I mean, it was just very basic explaining about a Honda lawnmower. Okay. He did a fantastic job on it. And it's just like all womb. It just like explodes kind of a thing. It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy.
Well, what it tells you is you'd never know. You never know what's going to strike a nerve.
And I'll definitely have to check that one out. I actually saw that scrolling through your channel, and I didn't watch it, and I'm sorry I didn't. I definitely didn't watch the show.
It is an absolute classic.
Oh, that's funny.
You know, you said you work a 7 to 4 job. What do you do?
So I'm head of a customer service department for a local flooring company.
Oh, okay.
And it's just you know, it's customer service, which I enjoy doing, and I love talking to people, and I love solving problems. It's just fast. It's quick. It's nonstop. It doesn't seem like, you know, there'd be too much, you know, stress or anything like that involved in it, but man, there is.
Well, you know, I've been there. You know, I know exactly where you're coming from as far as that stress is concerned. So, you know, we're going to kind of wrap things up here. You know, again, you know, our best to Ron. You know, hopefully you're enjoying the broadcast here later when you're watching this. You know, I'm going to go with Marcus first, and then Josh, and then have some. You know, I'll have some closing thoughts, and Josh, hang on after we part here. You know, we'll talk offline a little bit. But Marcus, closing thoughts tonight.
Great discussion. Enjoyed talking about action cams and you know, what future drones we might see. And you know, whenever I talk to Josh, gosh, he just is kind of the same frame of mind as the rest of us. Just wants to go out there and have fun and fly some drones. So that's what it's all about. And yeah, good deal. Great show tonight, Bill.
Awesome. And thank you, Marcus. And I really appreciate, you know, your comments there. And Bill, thank you so much for, you know, having me on the show tonight. It was again, an honor for me. I just think it's great for me to be anywhere with you guys, you know, talking about this. And it's so strange, you know, I don't want to get all mushy or anything like that, but you know, I watched your videos. You know, I'm trying to get into this and do all kinds of research before I ever even bought a drone. You know, I watched all these videos and these shows that I'm on. I watched your videos. You know, so it's really cool to be on, and it's a lot of fun to talk about things. And I couldn't be more blessed for everybody in the chat too. And again, I apologize. I put a comment in there. It's hard for me. I realize when I do these shows, it's hard for me to watch both, like to engage in there. So I gotta learn that. You know, to really be able to watch both and be able to really multitask, you know, with this. So I apologize if I missed some comments, things like that. And I really appreciate everybody's support. My phone's been blowing up with the notifications of subscribers. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, you got 91 now, Josh. So yeah, we're gonna get you. You'll probably get to 100 tonight, okay? Because I'll tell you what, I'm all about, for me, and I think Ken Dono kind of said it best. It's just like, we need to be there to support one another, okay? And I had, and I'll tell you this. The very first comments I had on my very first video was my welcome to Build a Drone Reviewer video, was Kelly Shores from Ready Set Drone, and Donnie, Big Drone Flyer 77. Okay, and it's just like, welcome. We look forward to you. Thank you for being here. And pretty soon on, Rick Smith kind of joined the club as well. And we are one community, and that's why I'm all about supporting everyone other's channels, especially it's just like, especially another Pittsburgher. Okay, how can I go wrong doing that? For me, that's it's like you prick this right here, it's going to come out black and gold. So I mean, that's right. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is with us Pittsburghers. But Josh, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come on tonight. We're going to definitely have you on again. I would absolutely love that. Maybe have you on sometimes as a co-host with Ron and Marcus. I think you have great insight into this. You have great passion. We absolutely thoroughly enjoy what we see on your channel. It's just, you're doing great. And you know what? And here's the thing. This is my, if I can give you one piece of advice, keep doing what you're doing. Okay. Because you're doing, it's coming from it. When it comes from here, Josh, it's real. People see it, people know it, and that's why I really like your channel, because it's coming right from here. I mean, that's all the difference in the world. So, with that being said, I want to thank everybody in the chat tonight. My beautiful wife was in the chat tonight. Rick Halber was in the chat tonight. Mike Gets Drone Shots. Ari, Remote Pilots Australia. Mike Kinney. Brian Singleton, True Drone Reviews. Look at David Martin Graff was here tonight. Larry Boggs. Looking at other ones. We just had a great time. I know FSU Grad 03 was here in the house tonight. So it was just absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys all for showing up. Again, we're now going to be called Rotor Talk Live, not Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live. So when you look for us next week, we will be on here. Please be sure, I dropped a link to Josh's channel. Please make sure you subscribe to his channel. You're missing out on some great stuff. So definitely subscribe to Josh's channel. And also the other Pittsburghers channel too, Mr. Brian Singleton. If you're not subscribed to True Drone Reviews, shame on you. So anyway, with all that being said,
Boise State.
In Idaho Quadcopters, okay? and ZinoNation and Ron Brown's channel. They're all in the description. So you guys need to check those out if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your Tuesday night while we shared some great talk about drones. Look for us every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And again, it's a great day to fly. Thanks so much, everybody, for showing up tonight.
Good night, everyone.